Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Is music halal in tariqat?
Is food halal in tariqat? Is it? Smart. Is drinks halal in tariqat? Say, now he's quiet. Huh? Just like Nasruddin Hoja, going up into the mimbar one Friday, khutbah, saying to the Jamaat, "Oh, Jamaat, do you know what I'm going to speak to you today?" Jamaat look at each other. It's very unusual. Nasruddin Hoja is a king-size wali. He has very close relationship with Shaykh Effendi, with us. He's going to come back to at that time to help us, riding on his donkey. Yeah. Nasruddin Hoja, teaching. Nasruddin Hoja, that he was created as a prophet, but he gave up his prophethood, asking Allah, let me just be one normal, average one from the Ummati Muhammad, and let me carry their burdens. Accept me, my request, Ya Rabbi. I give up the high station of prophethood, that billions and trillions uncountable human beings have been created, only 124,000 prophets. I give it up. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted his request. He didn't accept from so many prophets their request. Ulul Azam prophets request that too. Those high-level prophets, like Hazrati Adam, Hazrati Nuh, Hazrati Musa, Hazrati Isa, he denied. Although Hazrati Isa, he gave that permission to later. But Nasruddin Hoja, Allah accept, because he said, let me lift the burdens of the Ummati Muhammad. That's why whenever you say Nasruddin Hoja, people, no matter how hard their lives are, no matter how much troubles they have, they forget it. And they start smiling. And we share a story about that, about Nasruddin Hoja. For that time, all the burdens that the Ummah is carrying, Nasruddin Hoja is carrying to give relief. Fatiha. Asking his madad, inshallah. So he went up to the mimbar, saying, "Oh, Jamaat, do you know what I'm going to say this week?" They're looking at each other, they say, "No, Ya Hoja." Then he's saying, "If you don't know what I'm going to say, why I should say?" So he stepped down. People looking at each other say, "What kind of Juma is this?" So next week, he went up again. And all the people, they're looking at each other and says, okay. So they come prepared. So Nasruddin Hoja saying, "Oh, Jamaat, do you know what I'm going to say today?" They said, "Yes, Hoja." Everyone's saying. So he says, if you know what I'm going to say, why I have to say it? So he stepped down. People looking at each other, so he's getting more crazy, this one. We have to think of something else now. Next week is his turn going up again. Okay, so they talk amongst themselves, they pack there. So next week he comes up, he says, "Assalamu alaikum." "Oh, Jamaat." They say, "Alaikum salam. Do you know what I'm going to say today?" They're like, half of them says, "Yes, Hoja." Half of them says, "No, Hoja." So they're looking at this smiling. They got everything covered, right? And Hoja says, "Very good. Those who know what I'm going to say, explain it to those who don't know what I'm going to say." So he escaped again. So I'm saying that because I'm saying the question, right? Is music halal in Islam? In tariqat. He's saying tariqat, not Islam, as if there is a conflict between Islam and tariqat. There's no conflict. So I say, is food halal in tariqat? First they say, yes. Then one person says, no. Then I say, good. So everyone starts thinking. So I say, is drink halal in Islam? Now everybody kept quiet. Meaning everyone is going to say no. If I ask another question, and half is going to say exactly the way. That should be my answer. That should be enough for a person of understanding. In reality, everything is halal according to Shariat. Isn't it? And tariqat, it is stricter Shariat. There is a Shariat in tariqat too. You can never escape Shariat. People say, oh, I finished Shariat, I'm in tariqat, I finished tariqat in Maghrifat, blah, 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 blah. BS, that one. There is a Shariat everywhere. You're in Shariat, there's a Shariat in Shariat, there's a Shariat in tariqat. There is a Shariat in Hakikat. There's a Shariat in every station that you go, there is a Shariat. There is a law. The law may be different from each other, but there is always a law. Because there is always a Lord. You understand? If there is no Lord, then there is no law. They say there's no law in love. Really? There's more law in love than in anything else. And it's the strictest, the most heavy law in love. Because what is it? It is hardship. Man came to the Prophet ﷺ saying, Ya Rasulullah, I love you. Prophet says, then prepare yourself for hardship. So, according to Shariat, if the music that you're playing is going to arouse your nafs, it's going to bring you far away from Allah and into the dunya, into your desires, then it is forbidden. Even if the music is so-called religious music. Even if it is not really music, it is reciting Quran. And listen to this very carefully now. People get crazy. They say, one time I said, music, well, so many, what do you call music? Everything is music, really, if you listen to it. Calling azan is also music, isn't it? Then this Arab kid, because so many people, they have different things. Arabs especially, they have like a script, you know. If you deviate a little bit from the script, they don't know. So what is he saying? Azan is music? He's crazy. Azan is music, isn't it? You put it to a nice way of doing it. It is music. Yes, and in reality, every sound is music. Especially if the sound is created by the grand artist and the creator, our creator. It is music. Those things that you think it is not music, it is music. Unbelievers are finding this out. Believers must know and must believe. Unbelievers, one time I found out, you know the crickets, creak, 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 night time. Unbelievers, they recorded the crickets. You know, when you hear cricket, it's a nice feeling comes to you, right? But it's just crick, crick, crick. Just crick, 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 crick. Or frog, quack, 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 quack. Or birds, or this, or chickens, or ducks. Sometimes you feel, and it's nice feeling, isn't it? Lamb, sheep, from nature. So this unbeliever, he recorded crickets. And what did he do? With just the recording, he slowed it down. He slowed it down, and he slowed it down, and he slowed it down. And when he played, when it's really slow, and I've listened to it, it sounded like a 1,000-person choir. And everything is fitting, and everything is harmonious. One goes up, one goes down. It's like a choir of 1,000 voices. It's so beautiful. Why is it beautiful? Because they are remembering Allah. You understand? When that sound, in reality, every sound in nature, it is a remembrance of the Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then it is beautiful. Now, if you are reading the Quran with a beautiful voice, but it is filled with arrogance or ghaflat, there's not much benefit that's going to come from that recitation. And in fact, it may become poisonous to you and to those who listen. You understand? So, is music halal in tariqat? Of course it is. But according to the Shariat. And according to a higher Shariat too. There are people with beautiful voices coming here singing nuts. Our hearts are bored with it. Because maybe the person who is singing it has different intentions. Maybe it's too much show. Maybe this, maybe that. We don't know too much. But maybe there's a simple person who comes, but with so much sincerity, he doesn't really know how to sing too well. But because of that sincerity, it's hitting our hearts, it can make us cry. So now, we don't look at the outer form, but we look to see what the person is giving. Just as Hazrati Maulana Rumi is saying, do not look at my outer form, but take what is in my hand. Meaning what I offer you. And not everyone is going to offer you from their heart. And if they offer from your heart, make sure their heart contains nothing but Allah. Understand? They may offer you wrong things too. So, I know you're expecting a textbook answer. Proof, according to this, hadith, but you come to the wrong person. We can do that, but it's very boring. And you can Google this question, and there are millions of answers on Google. But this kind, we're asking our Shaykh to send us something that is going to make you to look at it in a fresh way, in a different way. Sincerely, we're meaning it. It is easy for us to fall back to a textbook answer. Or sheikhs, when questions got given to them, they say, just read this book. Just read this book. We are not like that. We have to find out what it is that person is needing and to send it. Inshallah Rahman. That time, the music that you are playing or you're listening to is not about enjoyment. It's about zikrullah. It's about remembering Allah. And there's no bigger enjoyment, no bigger joy, no bigger contentment than the remembrance of Allah. Saying, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ala bi zikrullahi ta'main kulub. Only in the remembrance of Allah can the heart find satisfaction. Amin Allahu tawfiq, al-Fatiha. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.